Let me know if you can hear me. On my end, it's saying that everything kind of stopped. How's it going, everybody? Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what you're doing. We have a few people in here. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. We'll make sure everything is sounding good. We'll just hang out for a quick moment. Quick moment before I always say quick moment and then it turns into hours. But before I pick up my daughter from school, we're going to hang out. Let me know if you could hear me. We were just on Instagram chilling for a moment. I was answering a lot of different questions in Q&A in my stories. So I figured, hey, let's hop on live and, continue the conversation, go even more in depth. You know what I'm saying? So pleasure to be here. This is the #1 chill spot on YouTube. I'm glad we can be here. Such a diverse room. As always, that's my goal with these live streams and the spaces I create. I see we got London in the building. I see we got Louisiana. I see we got Milan in the building. Oh man, #1 chill spot for sure. I see we got Africa in the building. Where else we got? We got NYC. Shout out to New York right now. I've seen some pictures and New York is looking crazy. all the fires in Canada, actually where I live. I guess the smoke has trickled down into to New York. But where I'm at on the West Coast, it's actually just beautiful outside. I see no smoke, but New York right now is definitely wild. And I am ready for Kenya. I'm going to Kenya in like 3 or 4 days. I'm ready in spirit, but reality-wise, I'm not ready. I still have work to do. I still have some shopping to do. I still have some booking to do, like where I'm going to stay after a couple of days. So there's quite a bit for me to do. But hey, we do the best we can while we can. I love that ebb and flow of life. I feel like I've done enough research and I have connected with people in Kenya through my Instagram, which is amazing. Creating content is an amazing thing because you get to connect with people all over the world. Like all I had to do was say, hey, does anyone that follow me live in Kenya or are they Kenyan? And I had at least 100 different messages. People giving me advice, people telling me, hey, I can connect you with this person. And it's just amazing that when you put yourself out there, you express yourself and you create a tribe online through your frequency and like-minded people, you can travel and connect with these people. And it's almost like, that's a sign of wealth right there, being able to just build and have those connections. So beautiful thing. I love it. Gonna get some footage out there. I normally don't vlog because, I'm not really a vlogger per se, but I bought a GoPro and the GoPro is a lot easier to vlog with. Now, my main bone of vlogging is I personally don't like being in public, in big public spaces or indoors and having a big camera, a big mic. It's just very difficult. It's just very annoying for me. It's not comfortable for me. I've tried. And also just takes me out the present moment. But the GoPro, I bought this little tiny GoPro and it's actually pretty good quality. Now this fits in the palm of my hand. I can capture. So I'm quite excited. So you will see some footage from my travels in Kenya. The first 3 days, the reason why I am going there is because of, I'm a part of the YouTube 2023 Black Creator Program and our final, let's say, ceremony or something I can call it. I'm not sure. It's in Kenya. So first 3 days is I'm going to be doing stuff with YouTube. And then after that, I'm going to journey on my own. We have the Middle East in here. We have Houston, Texas. That's amazing. All races, all ages in here. I can see that. All beliefs. I love that. Again, it's one of my favorite things to do is to cultivate a space online where so many diverse opinions can hang out and vibe in one room. It's a true testimony of our capacity to love and understand each other, even though so many of us clearly have differences and different beliefs. The internet will trick you into thinking that we cannot come together. The internet will make you very tribal and like polarize us against each other. And all that does is when the people are fighting, then the 0.5%, the 1% continue to get rich and hold all the power. So, let's come together. Let's do what we do. Let's vibe. Again, I have like a good hour before I got to go pick up my daughter, my beautiful daughter. Now, my daughter is in grade 10. I had a daughter very young. It's actually crazy to think that I have a daughter in high school. High school. Like I don't, it doesn't even fully compute in my mind. Like I look at her and then I look at myself and I'm like, how do I have like almost an adult as a child? Now I know in reality, I know how I had a child at, a very young age. But the fact that she's going to be graduating in just a few years blows my mind. Like a lot of people my age are just now settling down and maybe having kids or moving towards that path. And I'm like, I want to say leaving that path. Like you're never leaving as a parent. But, once my daughter is like 18 years old, she's an adult. She's going to be doing a lot of her own things. She can have a job. She may even move. She could go to school somewhere else. Who knows? So it's just an interesting experience. I'm very excited for like the next 15 years of my life because it's like me and my daughter get to have a new experience as an adult. But then I also get to have a new experience as I've never been an adult and not had to have the responsibility of, being a very present father. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting, but I'm going to go pick her up in a few hours. She's in high school. It's a beautiful day. And yeah, let me know how you're feeling when you came into the chat. The goal for the live streams is to always leave with your mood just a little bit heightened or a lot heightened, but we always like to tune a frequency here. And y'all know I'm obsessed with Amapiano, so we always playing a few vibes, even though YouTube gives me those copyright strikes. It's all worth it for the vibes. If anyone wants to do me a quick favor and you're watching this on your TV or your computer and you can pull your phone out and take a little clip and post it to your Instagram stories and tag me, that would be amazing. But don't worry if you can't. No pressures. You don't have to. Just for the ones that want to support in that way. Just tag it as the #1 chill spot on the internet. For sure. I see a lot of South Africans in the building asking if I'm coming to South Africa on my trip to Africa this time. I won't be coming to South Africa after Kenya because I feel like I want to come back home and reset, and I want to be at home this summer. But I do plan on coming to South Africa. What a beautiful country. I can already tell. Y'all know I love the South African vibes. I've been listening to South African house since like 8-9 years. Obviously, Amapiano then came into the mix in the last couple of years. So I've loved South Africa for quite some time. I'm not somebody that has just hopped on the wave. I've always loved the tempo. I've always loved the percussion. I've been listening to a lot of different artists like African Roots, Black Motion since back in the day. And I appreciate the vibes. So I got to come out there and see what y'all drinking in that water because the vibes are absolutely immaculate. Shout out to my brother Said in the building wanting me to play that Kendrick. I'm definitely not gonna play Kendrick right now. But that Kendrick album definitely bangs a lot harder. When the Kendrick album first came out, I was like hating on it. And my boy Said was like, nah, you're not listening to it. And I was like, nah, it's whatever. It's all right. And then, I think like 2 months later, I took another listen. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is pretty fire. So shout out to Kendrick. Shout out to his journey as well. He's very vulnerable and open. God, you can't hear me. Oh my God. Y'all, I was vibing so hard right there. Oh my God, it was muted. I can't even get back into what I was saying. Oh my God. Oh, it's all good. It's okay. It's okay. We doing the best we can while we can. We getting better with these live streams. Someone said I'm not really live. It's pre-recorded. That is a lie. I am live. I don't know why people always think that. Yo, I was such in a zone right there, but like it's impossible for me to repeat that zone. It's absolutely impossible. Oh, it's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Oh, okay, fine. Oh man, we have to catch a new vibe. I need a song. I need a song to pick me up now because jeez. I'm so glad that I looked at the chat. Imagine if I just kept going and going and going. Like, that would have been so embarrassing. Oh. But we are definitely live. It is the #1 chill spot on YouTube for the individual who was in the live saying this was pre-recorded. No, we don't pre-record our live streams. What? Oh no, we like to hang out with the tribe, with the people. You know what it is. Actually, I had an interesting experience yesterday. A very interesting experience yesterday. I was at Starbucks, and someone came up to me and he was like, "Hey, you're that guy." And I was like, "Oh, you watch my videos, huh?" He's like, Yeah. So we're talking for a moment. And then he's like, "Oh man, let's hang out. Let's just have like I was grabbing a cold tea. I'd be drinking these like giant like cold teas just when I'm on the road from Starbucks, but like no sugar. I asked for no sugar, no liquid quitting sugar. And we decided to sit down and we have a conversation. And that conversation, I told him I have 5 minutes because I was like, I really got to get to the studio. But this is someone that taps into the audience. Whatever, let's do this. Maybe there's be some value to exchange here. So for 5 minutes, we're talking at first. 5 minutes turns into 2-hour discussion about life. A 2-hour discussion debating just like life, beliefs, spirituality. We were debating hell, the concept of hell. And what I loved about it is our views were drastically different in many ways, but the conversation was rooted in love. It ended in love, and we were able to like respectfully disagree, but also come to conclusions together and challenge each other. And I'm like, man, that's what I love to do. This is why I don't really get into culture wars online or like on Twitter, because it's very hard to have a healthy discussion in the boundaries of 280 characters, right? Or when you can't see someone's face, right? A lot of people, they say crazy things online, they say crazy things on Twitter or in the comment section, but they would never do that face to face with somebody. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I like to have those conversations in person, or I like to have those conversations in the long form. But it was a really beautiful conversation, and we were just like, I really appreciated it. So if that brother is checking out the live stream, shout out to you, my brother. I'm sure I'll see you again in the neighborhood. And we got 300 people in here. Oh my God. Someone asked me if the Audible deal is still going on. I mean, not at the moment. Actually, yeah, I think so. I'm not sure, actually. It should be. If you go into one of my last videos where I did an Audible sponsor, just use the code, and I'm sure you'll still get the same deal. I actually enjoy Audible. I use audiobooks quite a bit. I love audio content. And this isn't a plug. I just like listening to audio content. Man, my South Africans are in the building right now. Shout out to all my South Africans. Shout out to everybody who posted on the gram. Thank you so much. #1 chill spot on YouTube. We got DC in the building. So I've been thinking about the channel and where I want to take it. And I was doing a Q&A on my Instagram. And I was thinking about bringing the podcast to YouTube. Now, majority of people said they would enjoy the podcast coming into a video format on YouTube. But my main question was, well, then should I have it on the main channel or a new channel? Now, there was mixed reviews on that question. A lot of people were like, hey, I'd rather have everything on one channel so I don't have to like roam all around and it's just in one place, simplicity. Other people were like, I would love to have a separation from the podcast videos and like the main YouTube videos. And I do agree with that as well. But then I just learned as well that there's actually a podcast tab for YouTube now, where you can post your podcast and it organizes it in a podcast tab. So I am toying with the idea of, and I want to ask y'all if I should bring the podcast to YouTube, mainly for more visibility and it being able to reach more people. Now, I think I would record them, probably not straight to the camera. I'd probably do like a side angle so I can kind of stay in the same energy where I'm just like, really zoned out, not aware of the camera. So I can just, because that's how, when I do no camera, it's just like I talk a little bit different. I'm in a different zone. Someone's saying they would love some longer podcasts. Yeah, I want to do longer podcasts. That's always been on my mind. Obviously with some guests, but I want to do longer podcasts, solo dolo like myself. It just, trying to juggle so many things at once. So we're trying to really double down and just like narrow our focus. Been taking a lot of time off. As y'all can see, the channel doesn't have as many videos. Doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. We've been building a lot behind the scenes. I'm very excited for this new year, everything that's going to happen. But just trying to make sure I can create the best experience possible for y'all. And, these live streams will be more of a consistent thing. This is something we're going to continue to do because I think it's one of the best ways to have content creation. It's one of the best ways for us to connect. I love how we come in here and we share value. We ask good questions. We all like come up with like new conclusions. And there's really no beef ever. There's really ever no trolling. Like it's just pure vibes. And I absolutely love that. So the podcasts right now are only audio and they're on Spotify and Apple. And the reason why I also want to bring it to YouTube is because I changed my hosting, some of the podcasts aren't available apparently in like some countries, like Swaziland or something. So I was like, oh, if I bring it to YouTube, then it's available for everybody. But I'm also curious, like what kind of videos would y'all love to see on the channel? Because I would say like when I started my channel, it was really all about just the type of videos I wanted to make. Of course, I'm going to stay true to that. But I'm really curious like what you want to see on the channel. Because when I talk about the channel, I always say it's our channel. It's our channel because there is no channel with just myself. It's like the community is what makes a channel great. The creator is just the lead. The creator is just who sets the vibe and the tone. But it's the community that really makes the channel great. And I think this is one of the best communities. Anytime you go in the comment section, it's just pure love. I see people put their worries in the comment section and other people come in and give great value and inspiration and connect and be friends. There's also a Discord where people connect as well, over 6,000 people in there. So listen, people are saying meditation videos. Yeah, that's something that's way overdue, especially with my voice, that is way overdue. Relationship advice. Okay. Someone said magic mushrooms. The reason why I wouldn't probably do that, see, what we can do is like, you guys have to understand, right? So like, I create content in a way where also I'm a father, I'm a dad, I have a daughter. So there's certain things I just don't say online in like mass public spaces because also I have a daughter. There's certain conversations I don't want her listening to, but I have no problem talking about some of these things in more of a private live stream setting. So I don't know, maybe I do like an unlisted stream and we talk about things like that. But when it comes to like psychedelics and stuff, I probably, until my daughter's an adult, I wouldn't really talk about those things. This is one of my favorite channels. I love the vibes. Oh, thank you so much, Ebony. I appreciate that. Shout out to Sophia who listens to the channel all the way from Portugal. I absolutely love that. Someone said cooking. Actually, yeah, me and my girl were just talking about doing some cooking videos. Because I miss doing those like ASMR videos. I miss doing those ASMR videos. The ASMR cooking videos. Those are like some of my favorites. Obviously, we're going to bring tea back into the mix. I actually just partnered with a business agency who's going to be helping me bring my tea line finally into fruition. It's going to take probably like still a year, but at least I believe I have the right people around me on the back end now to bring ideas to fruition. And I'm very excited about that. So making a lot of investments that that you can't see right now, but over the next few months and up to a year, you're going to see probably a lot of changes. And I think an upgrade in content and everything. We taking this journey with grace. We striving, learning from our mistakes. You know, YouTube is like a thing where I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to be consistent with it. Still learning how to remain true with it and be loyal to like the artistic vision, but also the community and everything like that. So, how to have a calming voice like yours? Drink tea. You talk more from here. Like when I talk, I'm naturally talking more from here. But the crazy thing is, when I watch old content of mine or listen to old videos from like even 4 years ago, my voice has changed a lot. Like my voice has changed. It's like it's matured. It's gotten like more. It's gotten deeper and stuff as I've gone. But also, I didn't like my voice before. So the more familiar I got with my voice, the more I started to love my voice. And I believe the more my voice started to come into its own because I started to truly embrace it. And now I understand my voice. Like now I can truly like record and like I could listen back and enjoy it myself. Shout out to South Carolina in the building. Someone said vlogs about traveling. Yeah, so when we go to, when we're in Kenya, we're going to get some vlogs in. I'm going to do my best. Like I said, I just bought a GoPro to try to like make vlogging, different. I mean, easier for me. So I don't have to carry a big camera around. But yeah, we get the vlogging in. Someone says, I noticed a change in your voice. Yeah, so if you want to actually just check out the change, go back to like some of my oldest videos. My voice was actually different. It was actually higher. It was actually a little bit higher. It's just kind of like matured as I started to like love it more and obviously get older. Videos on your art direction for the show. Actually, yeah, there are videos like that coming up. So I am going to be doing some videos on like kind of developing your vibe on video. I'm not really into like technical like tutorials, but like when it comes to aesthetic, building your scenes, stuff like that, I do enjoy those type of topics, and I think that will be coming to the channel. Those like anytime I do videos on content creation, they don't do well on the channel because I think it's a very niche topic for this audience, but I do enjoy them and I know they are of value. So, we'll still do them. But sometimes I'm like, okay, y'all have to help me with this question. Cause sometimes I'm like, oh, like, can I just do videos where I'm just talking? Or does that get boring? Like, do I have to go do vlogs? Do I got to do like other things? And then I look at other channels and there's channels where like, people are always sitting in the same spot, speaking and stuff like that. So sometimes I'm like, I'm still defining like where I want to bring the channel. I definitely want to get some like new content out just to excite myself. Some new editing styles would be fun. But if I had to pick one thing to really focus in, I think it's going to be these live streams. I would love to like level up these live streams. I love to actually come do these live streams with like, a show in mind, already like a agenda, a mission in mind. And then closer to the end, we do a Q&A. Someone said, hey, the Insta360 camera seems like a cool camera to travel with. Yeah, I do have the Insta360. The only thing I don't like about it is editing the footage is very tedious. You got to take it into the Insta360 app. And then like, I just find it to be like annoying. So I only like to use it for like certain shots. But like as like a camera that I would be vlogging all day, I would never use it for everything. I think the GoPro already grabbing it is like the best camera. I was filming with it on the weekend when I went kayaking, and it's like it can go in the water. It can fit in my palm of my hand. I don't even have to attach a mic to it. Like the mic on it is already pretty good, which is amazing. It's like so smooth. I'm walking with it and the footage is buttery smooth. And I'm like, there's obviously a quality loss from like my regular camera. Like, of course, this is like, my main camera right here. Now, the GoPro is not going to have the quality of this, but the accessibility and the ability of the GoPro just to be able to film on the fly is very beneficial. So I think in Kenya, majority of my content out there, just like the day to day moving around, will be off the GoPro. Because also out there, apparently you got to be careful. People steal your stuff quick. Can't just be walking around with a big old camera. So we gotta stay on our toes. When you travel, you really want to understand where you are going. Because when you want to enjoy the culture, you want to embrace it, but you have to be careful as well. Because, everywhere you go, there's always someone that's trying to spot out a foreigner and take advantage of you. Except for when I was in Japan. I didn't feel those vibes when I was in Japan. When I was in Japan, it was like, I don't know, it was just like pure good vibes. So I really appreciated that. Let's get into some questions. Oh, we got New Jersey in the building. Yeah. Someone says, let us vibe with your music and stop talking. Man, we do so much music on the live streams. Not every single one is going to be tons of music. So don't worry, brother. But all the other live streams I've done, those replays are still there. So you can still check them out. But of course, we always got music. How was your experience in Japan? It was a one of a kind. It was one of my favorites. Japan was probably the only place I've ever traveled where I had a complete peace of mind, where I felt like I could just wander off by myself anywhere. Actually, Brazil, I felt like that too, even though Brazil can be dangerous. But I felt like I blended in Brazil. Like when I was in Brazil, people thought I was Brazilian until I spoke. So I just didn't speak. I would just wander around. So Japan is really cool. It's really good. I actually advise too for women who are afraid of solo traveling, and if they want to experiment with solo traveling, Japan would be one of the best places to go on a solo travel trip because it's just really safe. They're just really respectful there, and it's really safe and it's really clean. So what I'm going to do with my daughter is I brought her already, but when she's 16, I'm going to bring her again, and that's where I'm going to get her to really learn how to like travel, and I'm going to get her to like meet me at places. Because when I was in Japan, there was 6-year-old kids traveling the subway by themselves. 6-year-olds traveling the subway by themselves. So I want my daughter to learn, her independence and, her like street smarts, and be able to like, travel on her own. And I'll get her to practice in Japan so that when she's like graduated and she's an adult, she already has a little bit of experience under her feet. And that when she goes other places, she already knows like, hey, this is what I do when I go to a new city, learn the transportation system, all that. But I think Japan is a great place, training ground to do that. Lauren says she can confirm she went solo trip to Japan in 2019 for 2 weeks, and it was amazing. Someone said, are the people in Japan spiritual? Well, yeah, they believe in Shinto, right? They believe in spirits. Shinto and Buddhism are like the main religions there. But I would say like it seems like a pretty secular society in the sense of like, doesn't seem like they're too like religiously dogmatic with it. It more seems like Shinto and like Buddhism is a part of their culture, and they kind of honor that. And there's obviously some traditions and like certain things that they do, rituals that they do. But it doesn't seem like a heavily like religious society. It seems a little bit more secular. But yeah, it's very safe, it's a vibe, it's a vibe. Someone said I went to Japan the same time as you and I want to move. Yeah, no, Japan was a big vibe. I wanted to move there as well. More questions and answers, more Q&As. Someone said, would you ever publish a book? Yeah. I think the idea about a year ago or 2 years ago was like, no, I could never. It just seems like way too big of a job. But I've been actually writing every single day and like strengthening my pen. So interesting fact, like a lot of my content, like especially my podcast in the beginning, like all that I just like write in my head. Like, kind of how Jay-Z write his raps in his head. I'd write everything in my head. So I really wasn't writing a lot down. But then I realized I need to strengthen my writing game. So I've been writing every single day and I'm starting to get better, I'm starting to enjoy it. So, basically when I'm writing out my podcast now, that writing can be now formed into a book once I figure out how to organize it and figure out like a theme. But I'm just going to have so much writing and so much material over a couple of years that it's going to be no problem for me to put out like a book. But I'm also going to be putting out some audiobooks. Like actually, I'm going to call them like audio albums. So what I want to do is take themes from my podcast, do a lot of sound design, bring music elements into it, and put out like albums, audio albums, but like, podcast form, but like an audio book. And they'd be like tracks, like 15 or so. And and then like visualize it in a cool way. Yeah, it'd be dope. It'd be very dope. Would you ever do some type of spiritual masterclass? No, I don't think I would do that. To me, it would kind of feel weird to do that because I don't feel like a spiritual master. And then like, I'm not sure what that would even mean, like a spiritual masterclass, because it's like everyone has different beliefs and different practices and things like that. And I think it's not really something I would need to sell. Like, I think it's just something we can talk about on live stream. So, and I think it's like if I did that, like I'd just be opening myself up to like so much crucifixion from people, which I'm not really afraid of that, but like that vision doesn't really seem aligned to do something like that. Do you have public music? Oh yeah, we got a lot of music on Spotify. Check it out on Hindsight, of course. I mean, there's a lot of global vibes. I don't really listen to that much music from America. Some electronic producers and things like that. But a lot of the music I listen to is from all over the world. Brazil, Africa, some Portugal, just all over the world. I just love global sounds. Majority of the music I listen to is not even in English, and I like it like that because I don't need to understand the lyrics. Because to me, it's like the vocals become their own instrument. And I love that. Like with Amapiano, it's like the vocals to me are an instrument. Of course, I can't understand what they're saying, but I can feel it. I can tell when there's like a spiritual tone to the message. And to me, their vocals are so good. It's like an instrument. Someone said, yo, I thought you dyed your hair blonde. No. I'll never probably dye my hair. I just like to wrap my head up. It just kind of keeps my locks in order. Question by Mike. How did your environment react to your celibacy journey? Do you think people start looking at you different? Oh yeah, everyone thought I was crazy, especially like, my bros and my friends. They're like, you're not gonna be able to do that. Girls didn't understand it, and like girls that maybe I was talking to, it's like they wanted to challenge it. They wanted to like end my celibacy. And I think it was like that because like it would be validation for them if like I say I'm celibate, but then somehow I break that celibacy with them. So it's like my environment wasn't supportive at all, but like my inner environment knew what I wanted to do. And I just had to stay true to that. And to be honest, it was a positive domino effect. That is when I quit drinking. That is when I quit smoking. That is when I changed the way I eat. That is when I changed what I consumed, what I listened to. Everything changed from that domino effect because I just became so intentional with my energy. And then everybody else that disagreed at that time, they saw the positive effects of my choices and they had to get on board. And then they started asking questions. How did you do it? Oh, how can I do that? And now the people that were once judging my decisions were asking for advice because they wanted to make similar choices in their life as well. So a lot of the time, people aren't going to understand what you are doing. But like I always say, they're only judging your first few steps. They're not really judging your heart because they don't know what's in your heart. It's a new thing. You have to bring it into fruition so it makes sense for them. But celibacy was a very beautiful journey. And, it changed my life. I always say it forever. It changed my life. It was one of the best practices that I embarked on. It's going to work if you believe in yourself, if you stay 10 toes down on who you are and your foundation. You have to be a leader in your own life. The rest will follow. I am kind of somebody that likes to carve my own path. I'm kind of like a rebel in that way. If everybody's going one way, I question it. I don't try to automatically go the other way, but I do question when everybody agrees on one thing. I'm like, let me see if everyone's just following, let me, do my research and whatnot. But I've always treaded my own path. And it's important. It's important because nobody knows what's best for you except for you at the end of the day. People may think they know what is best for you, but you are the one living in your mind and in your heart. You know what you feel. And if you have a dream, many won't understand it. And they don't understand it because they hate you. They don't understand it because they want the best for you. They want you to pick something that is safe. If you have a wild dream, it's kind of crazy to expect your parents or certain family members to be 100% on board. If they are, then amazing. You have a really great supportive system. But a lot of the times it's not going to be like that because, you have to understand the generations before us, the things we get to do in this era, these weren't realities for them, right? Like the fact that a creator makes more than a lawyer or a doctor, that wasn't a reality even 10, 15 years ago. Now that's a reality, think about that YouTuber Ali Abdaal. He was legit a doctor and quit because one, he wasn't enjoying being a doctor, I guess. And two, he was making way more money on YouTube. So these things weren't really realities in the past. So you got to give your fam grace if they don't really understand what you're trying to do, because we live in a whole different time and things are changing at rapid speed all the time. Things are rapidly changing, I have family members telling me hey, you need to go get a job at UPS. Why are you chasing dreams? That's kind of silly. Everybody doesn't get to live their dreams, come back to reality. But I was listening to this video the other day and the Japanese animator Hayao Miyazaki, he said, reality is for those who don't know how to use their imagination. So use your imagination, develop that vision, and then come into reality and fuel your reality with your imagination and develop your wildest dreams or the life you want to live. And your life you want to live doesn't have to be big. Maybe you want a humble, quiet life. You don't need, something my dad always told me was, you don't need to be rich to be happy. But one thing for sure is we want to be comfortable. We don't want to be stressing our bills every single day, right? Not at all. But even people who have tons of money, some of them are still broke. I was just watching a video with Mary J. Blige, and she was talking about how she was like millions and millions and millions in debt. She just got out of debt. Now, we've been seeing Mary J. Blige be a superstar for the last 20 years, wearing beautiful clothes, touring the world, riding big whips. And then this whole time she was in debt. So you could be rich, depressed, and in debt, rich on the surface, people think you're rich. So you got to define what life you want for you, right? What do you want for your life, right? It's your life. You go live it. From what I know, we may only have one life. Depending on what you believe in reincarnation, maybe you get another life, but maybe you don't want to reincarnate if reincarnation is real, right? You might as well make this life worth it and live it how you want to live it. Heinz, how do I go about getting into traveling? Oh man, again, like traveling is so much easier now because back in the day, we didn't have Airbnb, we didn't have Uber, we didn't have a billion travel vlogs on YouTube and TikTok giving you exact information on what to watch out for. Like traveling is the easiest thing to do compared to 10 years ago, compared to 20 years ago. You know, like when I graduated high school, there was no Uber, there was no Airbnb. So like traveling in my mind was difficult because I didn't even have a credit card. So how do you book a hotel with no credit card, right? So I didn't get to travel right when I graduated. Now it's a different game. Take advantage of these opportunities. Take advantage of the information that is out there, the resources we have. You know, all of us don't come into this experience with the same privileges, but we do all have some type of opportunity and we all have some type of privilege and we need to use it, right? So especially the fact that we're all on the internet right now, we're all using these gadgets, which means we have opportunity. You have the internet. You can create anything that you want to happen basically with the internet. You can start a business, you can share yourself, you can connect with people, you can contact people, you can ask people for advice, you can seek advice. It's there, right? We can root ourselves in solutions. It is there. Opportunity is there. You just have to see it. You just have to grasp it. What are some channels you recommend similar to yours? Similar is a weird word, but like I would say, when I look at my analytics, lots of people love Hitomi's channel. I think Hitomi's channel is really cool. I think she's very honest. I think I love her journey, as you can go back to her original videos, like old videos. Or she's been on YouTube for like 10 years, and you can see the progression in her journey, and it's really beautiful. It's just like a massive video diary. So her channel's cool. You know, I like to listen to podcasts, so a lot of different podcasts I listen to. I listen to Joe Rogan's podcast. I listen to Diary of a CEO. I listen to Brilliant Idiots. I listen to, but those things aren't like my channel. The funny thing is, I don't really know what else. I don't know. You know, everyone is their own vibe. So I know a lot of people that watch my channel like Lynette Adkins' channel as well. So, you know, check her out. Because my audience has more women than men. So when I see what other channels people like, it's normally like other channels that are hosted by women. Oh, it's 2:00 already? I got about like 20 minutes left. That's all right. That's all right. Do you celebrate Halloween? I'm like old, so how would I celebrate it? You know, I'm not a kid. I'm not going to go out and get candy. And I'm not really the party type, so I don't go out and dress up. So I would say no, I don't celebrate Halloween. But it's not like I don't celebrate it for like some like ethical reason. It's just not my vibe, you know? It's just not my vibe. But if y'all like to celebrate Halloween, that's good. That's good for you. You know? Plus my daughter's older too, so she don't really care about it either. It's one of my favorite sounds at the moment by Sun L musician. I believe he's in South Africa, but he's got beautiful sounds on the internet. Big tune, big tune, big tune. And this song is called Portia's Chant. Let me type it in here for y'all because it's a big tune. Play this in the morning, okay? Play this in the morning. It's gonna get your energy just right. Just right. Musician. There it is. I put it in the chat. It's gonna get your energy right. Don't worry about a thing. Tap into that vibe. It's one of my favorites. We're gonna stay on this. I'm gonna call this music like worship music, you know, because it's just got that vibe. It feels like you connecting to the divine. This next one is called Music, Life, and Remedy. We had that on mute again. Now, I was saying we will have some playlists ready for you on the next live stream. I'll have them pinned to the top. And then, everything that we listen to, there will be a direct a link so you can have it yourself. I got about 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. And then I gotta go. Even less, I got about 7 minutes left. 7 minutes left. My apologies for the mute mic. I got the mixer way over here, so I keep forgetting about it. When I get back, I'm gonna really focus on live streaming and like develop it into like a show. Thinking of adding another camera, having like a double angle. And then I also want to, we could like watch things too. We can react to some things, the music elements, Q&A, dive into some really good topics, do a little bit of a TED Talk vibe as well, but shorter. Yeah, it's going to evolve. It's going to evolve. I've been like, I think lately someone asked me, how you been feeling? And I'm like, I feel free and challenged at the same time. Like every single day feels like such a challenge because I'm trying to figure out the new thing I want to bring into the world. And that is a struggle, right? Because you're trying to like develop these new ideas. You can see the vision in your head, but it's not quite coming into fruition. And then you have responsibilities and these demands. So you're trying to maintain everything, but you're like, I can feel something new I want to bring, and I'm in that area right now. But I could tell a breakthrough is about to come. When I was on Instagram, I was noticing, I'm like, yo, just 3 years ago, like 4 years ago, like really good camera quality was hard to come by. Like I was like one of the first people on TikTok with really good camera quality. Like they used to call me the CEO of good camera quality. And now when I go, I'm like, man, everyone has amazing quality. Everybody has, not everybody, but lots of people have amazing quality. There's lots of really good videos out there. A lot of people giving advice now. Like 4 years ago, not even a lot of people were like giving advice, or like, you didn't really hear much reminders or topics about mental health and stuff like that. Now it's all over. And I was like, okay, that's great. That's amazing. And I think also I had like an influence on that by like, I came online telling everybody, create, you have a gift, share yourself. But like now that that's like really on the internet and like coming from so many angles, I've been trying to develop, okay, I don't want to say a new message, but like a new thing, something different to bring, because I feel like there's already so much out there. I don't really want to blend in with the same message and the same thing, right? It's already being there. So I'm really just trying to develop what that new angle is going to be. And I'm excited because I know I'll get there. We will get there. But, at times you're going to be going through the weeds and it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. So it has been a challenge as of lately. But I think this trip to Kenya is going to bring a lot of revelation, and it's probably going to tie the last few screws together. I could feel that in my spirit. So I'm feeling good about that. Someone said, we got London. Okay, shout out to London. I see you. Advice, put yourself first. Yep. Advice on self-love. It's difficult when like our love is directly attached to our performance, right? Because then if you're not performing, you don't love yourself. But then it's also like showing up for ourselves is a part of our self-love and our accountability as well. So I don't know what stage you are in your self-love journey, right? But I think you know what feels good to you, and you should double down on that. And if you're not feeling good about yourself because of your performance, I would challenge you to start to dive into, well, who am I at my essence without all the performance, right? Like without the accomplishments and the successes, who am I at my essence? Like if you were a color, what color are you? And love you for the color that you are. Everything else is the icing, right? So actually like write down the things you like about yourself. I did this practice the other day because I'm developing a guided journal, and I wasn't really feeling good about myself the other day. And I'm just so hard on myself if I'm not performing in the way that I believe I should be performing, because sometimes I have my love attached to my performance, and that could be very toxic. But I sat down there in my journal and I wrote down the different things I love about myself, the different things I felt that made me different, and how can I nurture those things. And just writing them down and seeing those things on paper actually really helped me. It actually just gave me a better feeling after writing that down, because I could see myself. I was like, oh, there you are. You're not just someone who has these goals and these accomplishments and you need to perform so you have value and validation, but you are at your core, you have an essence, and it's in your character, it's in your spirit. And there's things about you that regardless, if I died today, I'd still be very happy with myself. So really figuring out who we are at the core. And then at the same time, we do need to show up for ourselves, right? Our self-worth will be aligned with certain aspects of our life and things that we are doing. What I'm trying to emphasize is it's not completely dependent on our performance, right? We do need to show up for ourselves, but our self-love can't be directly attached to our performance all the time. how can my partner and I work on accepting each other's differences? I think vocally say it with each other and say, like, make sure that you are both agreeing that you want to work through your differences. And it's impossible to agree on everything. It's like, that's literally impossible. So if you think it's worth it to be together, then be like, hey, like, this is worth it. I love you for you. And no matter if we disagree on certain things, through our communication and our respect for one another, we will always find a way. And making that pact with one another, I think you'll be all right. But if your differences are like really important, like if like you want kids and they don't want kids, that's a problem, right? And if neither are willing to like bend, well, that's a problem. If you want to live in America, but they know for sure they want to live in Thailand one day, and you're like, oh, I would never do that, and neither of you want to bend, well, those differences are a big deal, right? Now, if you have differences, like your differences in politics or like your differences in like taste, like, those could be worked through. Those could be worked through. But if it can be worked together, then like that's the blueprint. You have everything that you already need to succeed because you both want to work through it together. It can be worked together. Now you're just on that journey. Shout out to 7Ad. I appreciate you. Been tuning in since 2020. Yeah, I think most people discovered my channel in the pandemic because everyone was inside with nothing else to do. It's kind of like perfect timing. I think I really stepped up. To the plate in that season of life and provided something that was needed. And I always try to be mindful of not to chase that feeling back then, or to chase that season, because it's like we are all evolving and we are all changing and we're all in different places now. So I really just try to stay true to that. Would you ever open a P.O. box? Yeah, for sure. I thought I did actually, but maybe I didn't. I thought I did open one, but maybe I didn't. Someone said they don't know if they're attracted to their partner because they love her a lot, but I think there might be something missing, and I'm thinking about another option. Yeah, I can't give you a clear answer on that because there's like so much in that comment that's not clear. Like, I don't know your relationship. I don't know exactly what you're feeling. What I would say is just like continue to meditate on that. Think about that. If you're not attracted to your partner, that's kind of a clear thing. Like, what is it about your partner you're not attracted to? Is it something that can be changed? Is it something that you could vocalize to them, right? Is it their behavior, or you just not like physically attracted to them at all? Or, there's a lot of questions in that. I would also be careful in the sense of it's very easy to see so many other fish in the sea. It's very easy to like go online and maybe romanticize somebody else just because you like how they look or their essence online. In human beings, we always like something new. It's like we crave like that honeymoon stage with a new person. It's kind of natural, I think, especially for certain people. Some people have a very easy time, like, being with someone and they're all committed. But some people, they just have, wandering eyes. So I'd be like, I'd just like have some sessions with yourself and be like, why am I starting to think about some other options? What is it about other people? What is it that I don't like about my partner? And, work on that. And if you have good counsel around you and support where you can get good advice, or someone you can just, someone that can act as a soundboard, definitely bring some community into that aspect. And then, just take it slowly, I think. Unless you already know. If you deeply know already, then you know what you got to do. But, be careful. Be careful with making a hasty decision because you don't want to regret something. How do I know if I'm following God's purpose? I just failed my nursing license for the second time. That's a tricky question, right? If you failed your nursing license for the second time, I would just ask, why did you fail it for the second time, right? Do you believe you have put your all into it? Do you believe you like 100% put your all into making this nursing thing happen? You have been studying, you have been solely focused on it. If you can confidently say yes, well then maybe it's not for you. Or if you're like, no, I really want to do this, well, hey, man, you can fail a couple of times and keep on going, right? I would say like when it comes to like the whole God's purpose is tricky because I think if it feels aligned, that's what you go off of, right? Like God's not going to come down here in physical form and tell you exactly what you need to do, right? You're going to discover this through your journey. I'm much more of a person that likes to remove myself from too many superstitions and root myself in solutions. If I was in your situation and I want to be a nurse, but I failed twice, I'm going again for another test. But if I'm only being a nurse because my parents told me I'm supposed to be a nurse and I failed twice, well, now I'm gonna be like, hey, I don't even really want to do this. This probably isn't really like the path I'm supposed to be on. And I'm gonna start to think of another direction. Someone asked, are you using green screen for your backgrounds? No, no, no. This is not green screen. This is all real. This is all real. No green screen. I don't even like green screen. Personally for myself. I don't really know how to work with it that well. And I don't like when green screen looks fake. Someone said, advice on transmuting sexual energy into art that's not sexual in nature during celibacy. It's really just by shifting your attention and your focus, right? So when you feel that energy, that energy is warm, that energy rises up, you can feel that energy now start to manifest thoughts that are sexual. It's just about shifting your focus, right? Your focus is your energy. Whatever you place your attention to, that is your energy. So when you feel it and your mind is going now in a sexual way, it's just shifting it into creating something. Even if you're not inspired, you don't have to be inspired. You have the energy. You just have to get into the process and inspiration will come like 20 minutes into the process, 100%. So it's really just about your focus and it's shifting your intention. It's just being aware like, oh, I'm feeling that energy. Let me do something else with it, right? Do you have a mentor? I've had a couple mentors in life, like not like life mentors, but when I first started doing video, I had a mentor who was older than me and kind of just kicked some game to me for a couple years. At the moment right now, I don't have any mentors. I think I would like one though. I think I would like one. Someone said, are you someone's dad? Yeah, I am. I had a daughter at a young age, basically almost straight out of high school. So, I am someone's dad. But I don't really talk about my daughter that much. I don't put her online because she wants her privacy. She wants privacy. And I had to honor her privacy. I can't just broadcast her to a million people online, because I'm like, hey, look at my daughter. She has her own life. She has her own name. She has her own being, her own essence. And if she wants privacy, I need to honor that. So I don't really post about that. Someone say, how do you stay calm and motivated and positive, even though there's so much harm happening to so many different groups? I don't know, like when I go outside, like obviously there's things that are happening all over the world, but there's always been things that are happening all over the world. You know what I'm saying? There's always been tragedies. Every generation has thought their generation is going to be the last generation as well. When I go outside, man, I see a lot of people getting along. When I go to the park, me personally, as a black man, I'm talking to all kinds of people. I'm talking to like old little white ladies. I'm talking to other brothers. I'm talking to Asian younger people. I'm having community everywhere I go. So like, I don't really walk around identifying as, oh my God, it's so hard to be a black man and everyone hates me. Because once I started to shift my perspective and I grounded my energy, I started to attract really beautiful experiences. So while some people may believe when they step out their house, the world's just not a safe place for them, I shifted my mindset from that. I have nothing but really great experiences everywhere I go. People just come up to me and not because they know me online. Some people come up to me for that reason, but some people don't know who I am. And they're just like, hey man, like I just like your vibe. And they'll be like the complete opposite vibe from me. There's a lot of negative things happening, but you can't solve all the world's problems in one day. So what can you do? The best thing you can do is transform your life and make sure that you can put yourself in the best position so you could be of help to others. But waking up every single day, going on Twitter, and then consuming all the problems of the world is not doing anything. It's just not. It's not doing anything. It's actually just harming you. The brain isn't fit to consume so much tragedy in a single day. In history, nobody was doing that. People only knew what was happening in their local communities. Or once we started to have television and the news, you knew what's happening all over the world. But again, you only knew when you tapped into the news at 6 p.m. Now, at any single moment of the day, we can tap into every single tragedy that is happening. And it creates this perception that the whole thing is just about to collapse. But if you kind of turn it off, go outside, put your feet in the grass, you realize things aren't as bad as the internet makes it seem. Go outside right now. Guaranteed people are getting along. As a black man, I go everywhere. I really have no problems. I get opportunities everywhere. And I think it's because I shift my energy. Now, of course, I'm not denying problems happen, but you had to first change your inner environment before you can change the outer environment. And I think as well, like we're all attracted to, I think like something is placed in all our hearts. So we all have a deep connection to different causes, right? Like some people have a deep connection to animal rights. Other people have maybe a deep connection to the climate. I have a deep connection to just making sure everyone's got food. It bothers me that some people don't have food to eat. There's people today who will not eat. That bothers me. For some people, that's not really a cause they think about. But for some reason, we all care deeply about different little things. And I believe that when we can situate ourselves, develop our foundations, then we could dedicate ourselves or a portion of our energy to those causes. And if everybody did that, every cause in the world would have people who are passionate about taking care of them. But you can't expect somebody to care about every single cause in the world. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. There's certain people that are just not going to care about the climate because they don't believe it's as serious as it is. They're just not going to care about it. Maybe they care about the harm that is happening in their community at the moment because there's gun violence. Or maybe they care about the drugs that are in their community, right? There's some people who are just trying to put food on the table. So when you're talking to them about climate change, they're like, yo, I got 3 kids I'm just trying to feed right now. Do you see prices right now? Y'all seen the prices right now in grocery stores, right? Everything is more expensive. If I go out for lunch with me and my girl, lunch is always $50. Like anywhere we go, like I can't get lunch for like $20 unless you go to McDonald's, and I don't want to eat McDonald's. So like times are a little bit different, and some people are just struggling to get by. So you can't expect everybody to be like, oh, I care about every fringe group at the moment. But everybody will be aligned with an individual cause. And I believe that when we can transform ourselves, then we can also transform these causes. And there's people who have transformed themselves and that are dedicating their energy to these causes right now. And if people continue to do what they're supposed to do, more people will come into these causes and change will happen. We actually are getting better as a society. But the internet makes you think that we're not. We're getting better as a society. Things are better than it was 50 years ago. A lot better. Right now, I would say house prices aren't better. That's horrible. There's certain areas that are like horrible, but like as a people, things are actually getting better. Oof, I got like 2 minutes and then I gotta go. Should I tell a close friend who I have very strong energy with that I have feelings for her, even if she's in a relationship, or wait until she's single? I don't think you should tell her, bro. She's happy in a relationship, and she doesn't feel the same way about you. You're gonna completely ruin that relationship. But then also, if you're only being her friend because you secretly want her, that's a problem too. So that's a tough one. We can't really get into the depths of that. What's your opinion on Apple's VR goggles? Do you think it may increase isolation and loneliness? No, not at all. I actually think they're amazing. Here, before I leave, I'm gonna get to this question. So I think I've been saying for a very long time that the phone, we're gonna have to evolve past this. Why? Because good technology should enhance your life. Now, the phone has enhanced our life in many different ways, but I would say the phone is probably one of the biggest self-destruction. That's not the right word. The phone also is a self-destructive tool for many people because it's so distracting. Everybody I know basically struggles with this thing, being on it all day. So like this isn't the best tech. We're gonna have to move past. Now the thing I like about the AR goggles is it's intentional. You're not gonna have that thing on your head all day, every day. It's just not possible, right? You're gonna use it with intentional use. Now, what I would probably do is I would ditch my iPhone, use my Apple Watch, because this Apple Watch, I can accept calls and texts. Guess what? There's no Instagram on here. There's nothing that can distract me here. It's just utility. Because it's just utility, it means it enhances my life. It's productive. I can listen to music. I can listen to audiobooks. It doesn't take away my presence or my intention. This does. So with the AR goggles, to me, that's a more intentional way to consume content and to create content. As a creator, I'm like, yeah, that'll be amazing to create. I have VR goggles already at home. And let me tell you, you wear that thing for like an hour, you want to take it off. Nobody is going to want to wear those AR goggles all day, every day. They're just not. They're going to be uncomfortable on your head for 8 hours. Now, where it gets tricky is one day it probably will turn into just like contact lenses or something, but we're far away from that right now. The AR goggles right now, I think, are actually quite fascinating. I think a lot of people have complained about the price for its actual capabilities, and it has the M2 chip. You have to understand it has the same computing power and more than a computer that Apple has that is $4,000. Plus, it's a revolutionary product. I actually think it's on price. Now, the majority of people can't afford this, and Apple knows that. But what's going to happen is all the people who can afford it and all the nerds like myself will go buy it, right? It'll raise Apple stock. They'll make a profit. And then over the years, they'll be able to take the price down, right? But the first product is going to be expensive, and that makes sense. Everyone's not going to get the first one. It's going to take a few more years until that's like integrated. But to me, it's not really like a Black Mirror situation. It's just like technology. Like either we stay here forever or we got to move to a new situation. This isn't where we should stay. This is horrible. This is sucking our lives. Now, and the problem is, as human beings, we're not going to go back. Like majority of the world is not going to say, okay, well, let's just get rid of phones. We're not going back to pagers. Are we? No. So I like the AR goggles. I'm for the AR goggles. And again, I could see myself just using them very intentionally and then taking them off and getting back to my life. I would, if those things are dope enough, I will legit think about getting rid of this phone if I could use that fully. But I don't think I would be able to. Like, I don't know if you can like post on Instagram and stuff. Right. But like having like all the devices is silly. So yeah, having like the AR goggles, having your phone, having computers, like too many devices. But once we can, because they already said like Apple's going to stop investing in phone technology. Like there's going to be a day 10 years from now, we're not going to be having these phones. This will be gone. Just like the iPod, this will be gone one day soon. So I have to go. This is, I would love to actually dive into these type of conversations on the next stream, but I got to go pick up my daughter. Woo. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you. I go to Africa on Friday, so I'll try to stream like 1 or 2 more times before I go. I appreciate and love y'all always.